discussion. We will be talking about the results, the things na nangyari doon sa competition for this edition dito sa Pilipinas, and what are the areas that I thought na kailangan siguro ma-address in order for the pageant to be able to improve itself. Okay, so welcome to our live stream this evening. Welcome sa mga nandito ngayon at nagpapalitan na ng puro-puro sa ating chat box. So this evening we will be talking about the Mr. International, the 15th Mr. International edition, and what are our thoughts with the overall pageant itself. What are the things that I think kinakailangan malaman ng mga viewers natin with regards to the judging process, with regards to the overall staging of this year's competition. Plus, we also are going to be talking about yung mga winners. And for someone na nasubaybayan from the very beginning yung mga nangyayari dito sa kaganapan dito sa Mr. International, down to yung mga candidates themselves, how they are active, how they are being very hands-on with their campaigns, their journey. I think there are a lot of things that a lot of fans do not see, that because we have access with the organization and with the candidates, we are able to understand yung turn of events kung why the results are such. Okay, so let's start first off with the poll question that I have posted in our chat box. Here, you have three options. The question is, are you happy with the results of the Mr. International competition? You have three options. If you loved it, you can say you absolutely love it and select that option. If you're not satisfied, there's also an option there. And if you feel, somewhere in the middle, around 50-50 happy, 50-50 could have been better, there is also that option in the poll. Okay, so far, marami na yung mga yung mga involved doon sa involved doon sa what do you call this, doon sa poll natin. So hintayin lang natin na dumami pa yung mga mag-join doon sa ating live stream na discussion for this evening. Okay, nasa na ba tayo? Mangumusta muna tayo dun sa mga nandito ngayon. The first one here is Kiravan Lopez. Good evening. RM Macase is also here joining us in our live stream. We have Mark Gonzalez, who is also here. Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Jason and ka-scripters watching on a quick weekend getaway. Di ko palalampasin tong live stream. Sino pa ba yung mga nandito nagparamdam? Hajiev is here. Sabi niya, nasa na ba yung comment ni Hajiev dito? Good evening, Sir Jason. I'm happy with the winner but not the overall placements. Would love to hear your thoughts on this in this live stream. As always, I will be able to explain or probably siguro give you a hint on bakit ganun yung placement ng placement ng mga nanalo this year, because having insider information, especially with connections with the media and insiders who covered the event, the actual na October 8 to 20 na pagdating ng mga candidates, compete nila doon sa La Union and all, there are things that they expressed to me with regards to each of the candidates. So may mga feedback na nangyari. That is why I understood yung mga placements nila. Although I think there could have been some areas that could have made things better doon sa placements. But overall, I think the top 5 is a strong top 5. And I know some of you are not convinced with that, but I will be discussing that a little bit later. Okay? So, hinahinay lang muna tayo. Isa-isahin natin yung mga yan because I'm sure you're all like a bit inquisitive with how come these is what happened. Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? Okay, marami-rami nang nagko-comment. Sige, sino pa ba yung mga nandito? Jester PL is here. Sabi niya, good evening, Sir Jess. About sa results, either Spain, Argentina is the winner, followed by Malaysia sana. Yeah, I kinda felt na masyadong mababa yung placement ni Argentina at saka ni Malaysia. Although I can explain kung bakit sa tingin ko ganun ang naging naging kahihinatnan nung kanilang ng kanilang result doon sa top 5. EJ Belge, sabi niya, good morning here in Vancouver. If you were to choose the top 5, what would be your placement? That's a very interesting question. I will be discussing that a little bit later. Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? Alberto Lorenzo, sabi niya, from plywood background, ng host sa stage yung sa Google Translate, yung pinapasa sa hosting results ng list of semis in a small piece of paper. Okay, yes, there are areas that I think can be improved. Art Laurent said, I hope ma-meet ko sa Madrid si Mr. Spain pagbalik niya dito. My God, Art Laurent, he really is good-looking and iba yung tikas niya in person. I think he is one of those candidates na kapag tinignan mo sa hilera, siya yung isa sa mga unang titignan mo because of the way he bears and carries himself on stage. So it's no surprise that he won. Nasaan na ba tayo? Jam Amihan says, I do hope Mr. International can attend or participate in luxury European brands like Armani, D&G, or Gucci, o kaya sa Spain Fashion Week during his reign. He looks classy and expensive. Yes, he does. Nasaan ba ito? Pageant Fan NYC says, good morning, sir. Spain deserves the title? Question mark. Is he striking in person? Yes, he is. He is really, really very... You know, a person when may arrive siya, and you know that, okay, he's going to be a winner because of simply the way he portrays, he carries himself, his posture. That is what I noticed with Mr. Spain. Okay, nasa ba tayo? Jam Amihan, I think agree naman na Jamaica has higher placement since laban na laban ang physique at may exotic charisma, although Argentina has it, pero may charm and physique na medyo lamang si Jamaica. Nasaan? RM, pag-uusapan natin yan later because there is a underhand to that question kasi to your question with regards to Spain or Thailand, because I haven't seen Thailand in person. However, when it comes to photos, there is personality that jumps off on photos for Thailand. However, with Spain, there is a certain sense of mystique and charisma and magnetism that you are drawn to him. So I think those are two different things with regards to those two different winners. Ping is here. Sabi niya, magandang gabi, Sir Jason. Magandang gabi din, Ping. I hope you're dry and in a cool temp na environment sa ngayon. Medyo malamig siya ngayon. And yung akyat baba ko ng Baguio has made me a little bit more raspy yung voice. So medyo I was quite a bit worried na ditong live stream natin wala akong boses because here's what happened with the coverage. We left at 12 o'clock noon dito sa Manila. We had to cover an event with Miss Universe Bahrain, Egypt, and Pakistan. It so happened that ang init-init nung nagpunta kami sa Mega Mall for that event. Tapos malamig sa loob ng sa loob ng mall. And then nung paalis kami, nainitan ulit kami habang traveling dahil ang init ng panahon when we left Metro Manila. So full blast ang aircon na naman sa loob ng van. And then pagdating namin ng Baguio, ang ginaw-ginaw. And then pagbalik naman namin pagkatapos ng event, we went back to Manila because some of my media colleagues have events that's happening, I think, later today. Mayroon pa akong isang pageant media friend na might be might be traveling outside of Metro Manila for another pageant coverage. So lagari kami lahat nung finals. And then after we went back, umuulan naman pagdating namin dito sa Maynila. So alam mo yun, yung init lamig kinda made my voice a little bit raspy when I went back. Kaya kung nakikita nyo mamaya na naglo-lozenges ako, pagpasensyahan nyo na because I'm still recovering. I need to get back my voice because I have a talk later on with the Philippine Retailers Association this coming week. So kinakailangan kong may balik yung katawan ko sa in its healthy na peak. Okay? Nasaan na ba tayo? Sabi ni Caravan Lopez, I believe kung hindi pumalpak yung translator sa sagot ni Argentina might win the competition. I don't think so, Caravan. I think it was really the night for Spain. Sana ba to? Sabi ni Alberto Lorenzo Tanyag, for me, fourth runner-up si Philippines, Jamaica and Argentina, either ang first runner-up. RMK says, kudos to Sean and Emma as fantastic hosts. Sila ang sumalba sa show kagabi. Hajiev says, Sean Kyle should compete, love him. Nasaan ba to? RMK says, I felt heartbroken for my winner, Argentina, and my personal top 5, Cuba. I'm monitoring their IG accounts and giving words of support to both guys. They need it. Jam Amihan says, I love the quiet power ni Spain sa tres compañeras, Argentina and Cuba. Cuba's a very great personality, while Argentina ay may facial charm, pero Spain ticks these two boxes na right mix. Okay, I think siguro we should be starting with the actual na laman ng live stream because the first thing that I need to, or rather I want to discuss, or I want to everyone to know, is regarding the negative campaign that is going against the Miss International na organization that is owned here in the Philippines. Because right before the actual na finals, nangyari na naman ulit yung tinatanggal ng Meta yung mga accounts ng mga organizers. And this has been going on for the last several weeks. And kung hindi nyo napapansin, right after the preliminaries, yung kanilang Facebook account was again removed. And dito na magkakaroon ng ipitan because there is a alleged rumor that people from the other side of the fence have connections with the people in Meta here in the Philippines, and that is the reason why they are always being removed from Facebook and Instagram. And this also happened not only to the Philippine-based organization and their staff and their officers, but also to their respective na mga national directors from different parts of the world. And that is a very underhanded, that it is so bad that right now there is an investigation that is going on to find out who that person is and serve him with legal repercussions for the things that they are doing. And I believe that now the organization, the Philippine organization, is not afraid to go against the people in Meta and file lawsuits for unlawful na removal. And that is, I think, the reason why everyone who has been asking me what's happening, what's going on, how come their accounts are not there again, this is where the this is where we're at, because of the negative campaigning that is going on against the Philippine-based organization. things are not looking good. So the Philippine organization is actually fighting a uphill battle with regards to their social media presence, and this is the reason why you don't get necessarily, a lot of updates from their social media, because parati nga silang tinatanggal, and because the official social media pages of the organization was hostile, was allegedly taken over through a hostile takeover earlier. So nagkaroon ngayon ng difficulty ang Philippine-based organization to actually have it pushed through yung kanilang mga social media pages. They already had 3 Facebook na mga accounts that has been removed. They already had, I think, 2 or 3 na social media accounts on Instagram that has been removed as well. So they're now, thinking of possibly taking legal action. And I think that's the only way for them to be able to keep their, to keep their presence on social media. So if you're asking me what's going on with regards to their social media, that is what's going on. They're fighting a very uphill battle because of certain individuals, strong arming them on their social media na mga pages. So that's that's what's going on. And also there is nagchiji sa akin that this is, again, as I've said, I am going now to a rumor territory that currently on social media there are paid troll accounts that are being released in order to create negative perception for the organization, for the Philippine-based organization. Despite the fact that more and more Filipino pageant fans are now getting the truth with regards to ownership. Attorney Manuel Del Dio has already released statements, has already released documents regarding ownership of the pageant itself. And nowadays, in order for the for the other side to combat the fact that more and more people now see the documents, see legal ownership with regards to the pageant itself, the pageant name, the pageant logo. Now, people are starting to understand that, okay, we might be seeing that the Philippine organization is the legitimate organization. And nowadays, there are a lot of pages, there's a lot of accounts, fan accounts, that are trying to go against the grain by saying that it's the Philippine-based org that is not legitimate. And this is, and what they do is they attack, the results, the staging, the what do you call this? The winner of the Mr. International organization, and this is, from what I heard, is going to happen in like 2 different or 3 different stages. I'm still trying to get more information with regards to that, because right now a lot of pageant media friends have been telling me that this is going to be what's going to happen later on. Because when if you remember last week at around Saturday, I already had my favorites list live stream for Mr. International, because the Monday after that is the preliminary competition of the MIPH owned na competition in La Union. And then one of our media insiders said that there's going to be a 2-prong attack that will happen later on, and we've already anticipated this, and we're trying to do something about it. So the first thing that happened is that after they did the live stream on their Facebook account and on their YouTube account on socials, biglang nawala yung Facebook account nila. So that's the first stage. And then they're going to further further attack the organization by removing Attorney Manuel's Facebook and Instagram accounts, leading to the finals, which also happened moments before, I think hours before the finals. And that is to create stress and panic on the organization itself. And this is a very, this is a very, very underhanded tactic, because I think if you want to show yourself as a legitimate organization, fight fair. And this is what has been happening for the past several months in Mr. International Philippine-based organization, and that is why I sympathize with their plight, because I understand how it is to be removed from your socials. Kasi nangyari na rin sa akin yan. Remember, I remember the feeling before, because when I was when it my Instagram account was suspended, and I only found about it while I was with my mom during her chemotherapy. So alam niyo yun yung bigat at the heaviness of the situation, that you're already having personal problems, you're taking of a sick family member, and then suddenly the work that you have done for years and years has been removed on the social media platform that you've spent years to build on. So I understand that feeling. I understand I understand the emotional stress that is presented when the things that you have worked on for so long is removed from you. So I sympathize with the organization, because I understand yung plight nila. Because it did not only happen to Attorney Manuel Del Dio, but it also happened to Tito Norman Tino, who has been a pillar of the pageant industry for the longest time. And the moment that you start attacking, people in media just because they are affiliated with, the Mr. International na Philippine-owned organization, I think that shows, the depravity of the people who are behind the attacks, the people who are behind all of these, these unethical attacks on what you purpose to be a competitor. So that is, I think, the reason why a lot of Filipino pageant pages feel badly with the Philippine organization's challenges and struggles on social media because of this issue. Okay, and I am also not surprised that maybe later on our socials are being attacked, because I am telling, the side of the Philippine-owned, Philippine-based organization. And this is not, this is not something new to me, because I've heard that several other pageant media pages have already seen attacks on their posts. The moment that they post about the swimwear, the formal wear competition of the Mr. International organization, nate-take down sila. Nagkakaroon sila ng mga reports that this is inappropriate posting, even if ang posting nila is on the formal wear competition of the Mr. International Philippines organization na finals. So you can just imagine, the amount of duress and stress and underhanded, fighting that has been going on, that the public is not aware of. And I am even, worried that just me talking about this right now on YouTube and discussing this with you, I might get reported simply because of this what do you call this live stream. So this is the reason why I wanted to start, giving you a perspective on what really is going on from the perspective of someone who sees the struggles of the Philippine-based organization trying desperately to fight back when everything is being piled against them. And the reason why they are so very adamant, the organization is very so adamant to fight against all of this happening is because they have the legal documents. Because if the organization that Pradit has, they should have already been able to show their legal documents, should they, if they had one. Because naglabas na ng, because the Attorney Manuel Dalby, you have already released papers and showed papers with regards to legal ownership. So that is now the reason why they are very, what do you call this? Very strong-willed to pursue this this battle, despite that all of their, efforts have been, blocked at every turn. Okay, so that is, I think, the situation that fans do not understand or do not see at all. So I do hope that because of that, you have a better perspective of what's going on with the organization. Okay, so now let's talk about what you've been griping about with the Mr. International organization with regards to stage and production. The thing here is that noong nag-alok ang La Union and Baguio to host the Mr. International na competition, I already immediately knew that there is a possibility that we would not get a very extravagant na stage because of the resources that's available to us. And also, even if we have like all the resources here in Metro Manila, remember the Miss Universe 2016 pageant versus the Miss Universe 2018 na pageant, which is held in Thailand. You can immediately see there the differences in infrastructure, in terms of glossiness, the difference in terms of in terms of entertainment. So on that end, I already have an idea that in terms of the glossiness, hindi natin mahihigatan yung competition, because looking at Miss Universe Philippines in the Mall of Asia versus the Miss Universe Thailand that happened later after the MUPH, you can see immediately the level of technical skills between the two countries. We don't have the internet infrastructure to have the 5G na internet on a strong na level as that of our our neighbors. Here in Southeast Asia, the Philippines is actually the slowest internet, okay, that you can have as compared to, let's say, Thailand or even Korea or even Japan. Wala tayo sa kalingkingan ng mga bansang yon when it comes to technological advances. So in terms of glossiness, stage production, I would give it to the MI that is Thailand-based. However, that doesn't mean that hindi nag-effort ang local organization to at least give us a very interesting na competition. Instead, what they did was to go grassroots. And this is why you would see them in La Union, because they had a lot of charity work and a lot of community involvement in those area. Hindi lang isa o dalawang charity events with regards to kids yung kanilang ginawa over there. They had several visits, several talks with with elementary schools, with kids, distributing goods, distributing distributing school supplies to the underprivileged and needy mga areas in La Union. And I think that is a good direction, because their motto is Aside from their tagline, which is distinctly handsome, their motto is inspiring the next generation. So this time around, they are putting where their mouth is. They partnered with local organizations, local government units, in order for them to have activities to get more closer to the local communities that they are involved in during their series of activities in La Union. So that is, for me, commendable. Another thing that I would give it to the organization is working with great photographers for their headshots, glam shots, swimsuits, and all. Because the one who is doing the photography for Mr. International is also the same guy who did at one end the supranational glam shots in the, I think, around 2017 to 2019, and he is the one who's currently doing the Miss International headshots, glam shots, swimsuit shots currently in Japan, and that is Raymond Saldana of Clickbox Photography. Having that kind of alignment in terms of consistency in the Mr. and Miss International organizations kind of gives you an idea that, okay, they are probably the more legit na organization because they are using the same, photographer for what do you call this, for their events. And I think that is more of a play on optics, which is, I think, a smart move for the Philippine-based organization. Okay? Now, let's talk about the hosting in Baguio. Not everyone can afford to have an event at the Baguio Country Club because it is an exclusive club. And I think, with whatever the infrastructure that is available for them there, they made use of it there because it's not easy to transport all of those LED screens from Metro Manila to other parts of the country. The mere fact that they had large LED screens, pretty much like Binibining Pilipinas in earlier this year, tells us that they are making efforts. In person, the stage is large. I agree na medyo madilim yung stage because a lot of there's a lot of backlit elements doon sa stage. That is why when it comes to photographing it, there are some areas na ako mismo hirap dahil nadidiliman ako because of the lights from the back. This is something that they did with their hosting of the Mr. International Philippines earlier this year, that I do hope na hindi nila dinala for Mr. International in Baguio. However, since nandun na yon, I have to adjust in terms of the photos that I can take and the videos that I can take. Now, let's talk about the translation app. The thing here is that I'm kind of torn with this one. However, I understand yung the two different perspectives of what do you call this? The two different perspectives of on one hand, you don't want to have a human error when it comes to translating your what do you call this? Your Q&A. On the other hand, you don't want naman na tawag ito na maging questionable yung translation. So, I think the use of the translation app is a much more, how to say this, much more fair way of doing the translation rather than having a, what do you call this, having a candidate or someone who is not very bihasa in translating. So, on one hand, I would have preferred that they have hired a professional translating service for that. But on the other hand, I also understand using technology can have, could have backfired with what happened. Because when it comes to the top 8 na Q&A, we saw that there wasn't any issue with regards to the translation app. In fact, Tito Norman was able to use it quite well. However, on the second round of the Q&A, doon lang nagkaroon ng problems. That is where the problems are having, because probably because of the internet, because probably the what do you call this, the app wasn't able to record properly yung what do you call this, yung what is being said by the two candidates who spoke in Spanish. However, I think that is again another area that they can improve definitely on, because as of the moment, when I saw that they were all panicking with what's happening on their socials, I think that's one of the area na miss out nila na ayusin. And you know, this is not a perfect organization, but they are trying. The mere fact that despite all of these challenges, they still continued and made sure that the candidates had an enjoyable stay with them during the run of the competition. I think mas maganda siya kesa yung hindi sila hindi sila gumawa ng effort to address these problems. Okay, now let me just go on a little bit of your comments kasi medyo marami-rami na sila, and then I will continue with the judging process and why I think the results were magnificent. I think for me, the top 5, kahit na nagkabali-baligtad sila ng placement, even if you jumble whoever have possibly won among the top 5, I think we will still be happy with the results. Okay? Where did we end? Saan na ba tayo? Oh my God, I'm sorry. I think okay, sabi ni RM Macays, I felt heartbroken for my winner, Argentina, and my personal top 5, Cuba. I'm monitoring their IG and giving words of support to both guys. They needed it. I think I was actually surprised that Cuba didn't make top 5. And Argentina, you know, I thought he would make it as far as first runner-up. But I think this batch is a very competitive batch, because they're not only competitive in terms of what you saw on stage, but also even their resumes. They're really very interesting. Jam Amihan says, I love the quiet power of Spain sa Tres Compañeros, Argentina and Cuba. Cuba has a very great personality, while Argentina ay may facial charm. Or Spain ticked these two boxes na right mix. Now that you mentioned that, I have to also mention that in the judging process, because I was seated behind one of the judges, nakita ko na part of the criteria on the different segments is yung beauty of face. Ibig sabihin, they wanted someone who is facially gorgeous to represent the organization. And on both the swimwear and the formal wear competition, it is part of the judging process, part of the criteria. So I think with that being, with that criteria in mind, you would know that naisip ng organization na hindi lang physical na katawan yung titignan nila, but also yung itsura, but also the facial, how strong is he facially. Saldi Salen says, good evening, Sir Jess. We cannot always expect our favorite delegates to win. I agree. In fact, I am a little bit disappointed that Malaysia only ended up at fourth runner-up. But I think siguro naka-affect yung question niya on food security, because he did not necessarily understood perhaps the meaning of food security, and rather probably misheard the question, and instead what he talked about during his top 8 Q&A was about food cleanliness. So maybe on that end, it is better, to understand a wider set of social causes so that when it comes up in conversation, you're not necessarily clueless with the what do you call this, with the question that's being asked, or at least have someone repeat yung question for you so that you really understood and pick up on the nuances of what the question that was being asked. Okay. Where is... So RM McKay says, the reason why I am updated to Mr. International Philippines based is I follow their IG account. Pero true, nawala sila sa Facebook. And I've said earlier, there was really a targeted attack on the organization's social media na mga accounts. Dagdag ni RM was, sa 2 pageant accounts on Facebook that actively promote MI Philippine base is Eventology and Pageant Mag Philippines, which is even their posts get flagged, get reported. And when we look at the people who are reporting these accounts ng MI organization, common thread is it was reported by someone from the other organization allegedly. And nung ipinakita ni attorney sa akin na ito yung screenshot nung nag-report ng mga posts namin, I kind of felt bad for him dahil talagang kalaban niya talaga yung nagre-report sa kanya. Kirivan Lopez asks, question lang po, ano po ba ang legal basis ng camp ni Pradip para sabihin na sila ang rightful owner aside from being friends with the late Alan Sim? That is a great question that I cannot answer, that you probably would have to get out from Pradip himself. If he really has the legal documents, then shouldn't he be able to present it by now? Because right now, the optics is looking like he doesn't have any legal documents aside from word of mouth. Okay? Going Popcorn says, nawala. Yay, my bet Spain won. Viva España. Hello, Sir J, present. Hello, Going Popcorn. I do hope na hindi ka masyado na late dito sa discussion natin dahil medyo malaman yung nauna ko bang mga diniscuss with regards to this topic. Where were we? R.M. McKenzie says, observation, there are elements of Miss Earth that was borrowed in last night's pageant. The hashtag round and the emphasis on the org's advocacy, and also on Miss Universe with the little brothers. That for me is a good touch dahil yung mga kids that I'm not sure, I would have probably to double check on it, but some of the kids that they were there during the finals, nandun for the rehearsals since afternoon before the pageant. So I think the mere fact that they only have kasi again, if you're involving kids on any activity that is out from school, there is a limited time frame that you can have them because of security na lang din and laws prohibiting exploitation. What happened was they were only there for a limited time frame, I believe, and the mere fact that they are able to get the choreography quickly tells us how smart these kids are. So I'm commending these kids for really being sharp and for taking cues from the floor director very smartly. So there. Nasaan na ba tayo? John Snow 79 says, stage prod here was poor as compared. Question ko lang, bakit nung MGI PH was staged at par siya sa MGI TH at MGI ID. Ang sabi, pinahiram ni Uncle ang prod niya sa PH at ID kaya bongga ang finals. Perhaps, okay, that means wala yan sa 5G or internet. Sa mga gamit yan available at kung kayang gumastos for staging a very outstanding na production. Budget talaga ang labanan. Kung wala kang pera, tiis ka na lang. Okay? Kiravan Lopez says, that's okay, nawala. Nasaan na yung si Kiravan? Okay, that's why I felt Argentina was robbed. His answer during the top 8 was very well translated. Tapos nung sa top 5, biglang nagloko. Felt sorry for him. Going popcorn, sabi niya, sana next tapusin na nila ang legal battle kasi ang dami pa din lito sa dalawang contests. Nasa ba tayo? John Carey, what happened to Singapore? I wonder why he didn't qualify to enter the semis. I think very telling that a lot of the guys who made the top 16 were more on the taller side. So that's probably a reason why, why he didn't make the semis. Although, there are also some probably areas where he could naungusan siya, how to say that in English, that other guys were able to pull further ahead in the competition, and I will explain later yung judging process that I saw during the finals. Okay, John Carey says, I was really rooting for Austin also, but he really bombed the first Q&A. The other org, dagdag pa ni John Carey, the other org are also being shady with their sockments. Okay, dagdag pa niya, I really find Mr. Canada the cutest though. Hajiev, I will be listing down some of the things that I saw. I wasn't able to, syempre hindi ko naman pwedeng manmanan na lang kung ano ginagawa nila on their judging process, but I also had to do the coverage. So I was able to list down several mga mga criterias that I will be discussing a little bit later on. Pageant fan NYC says, the Philippine version I watched has more substance compared to Thailand. Not being biased, but they did really pretty well with their pageant concepts. Okay, RM McKay says on Facebook and IG, meron ng dalawang faction defending the Philippine-based org and the bashers we who defend the org put emphasis on the strength of Spain as a winner. Our eyes never lie. Okay, John Carey, was it true also that the PH team invited Mr. Lebanon, who competed in the other org, to join the pageant? That I am not sure of. What I do know was that nag-reach out ang Philippine-based organization sa Mr. Lebanon organization to probably get the franchise for the PH-based organization. So I think that is the more possible na scenario. Okay, June, saan na yun? Okay, June Ren Ente Sojon says Poland was tall and also won a minor award but didn't make it to the semis. I think Poland was very nervous during the finals that it showed, especially kami na mga media who saw the rehearsals. So maybe it could have affected him, but I think if you look at Mr. Poland's physique, hindi siya yung well-built na physique like that of Spain. He's more of the modeling na payat, na very long and lean yung itsura niya. So that's probably the reason why hindi siya nakapasok. But then again, there are probably other factors why why other candidates placed over him. Okay, sabi ni Going Popcorn, it's also wise they crowned Spain. It will definitely elevate the org from popularity, marketing, and social relevance. And also, I think it's not just about what do you call this? It's not just about crowning Spain as a winner, but the mere fact that the one who is handling the Spanish franchise is also the organization that handles the Mr. World, the Miss Universe Spain, the Miss World Spain, and the Miss International Spain franchises. You know that this is a guy coming from a very legitimate organization. The mere fact that they had Mr. World and Mr. International now in under their franchise, it also means that Nuestra Belleza España is an organization that you don't want to mess with because they're going to send, you know, really quality competitors, because they're the ones who are now fielding Atenea Perez for Miss Universe. They're also active with promotions with their Miss International na candidate who is competing in Japan. They're very, you know, they're very happy that they won Mr. International through Jose Antonio Calle. And then they're waiting for Mr. World to start with Tony Company, because Tony Company is the one who won Mr. World Spain. And they're, I think, just started to do active promotions for their Miss World Spain winner. Tapos nangyari nga yung postponement ng Miss World na naman. So I think you know that this is an organization that is being covered not only by the local, you know, local media here in the Philippines, but also the local media in Spain. So this is a very serious na organization. Nasa na ba tayo? Wait. Ang dami nyo ng mga comments. Okay. Going popcorn, I'm not sure because I wasn't able to see all of the judges. I was standing on just the if you're facing the stage, I was at the left-hand side. So, hindi ko kita lahat ng mga judges. Ayan. Nakailangan ko na naman mag-lozenge kasi nagda-dry na naman yung throat ko. Nasaan na ba tayo? Maher Soriano says, I'm rooting for Myanmar for top 8. Sayang di nakapasok. What went wrong kaya? I think it's the translator. Tapos, I think he is not in his top shape dahil meron siyang breakouts nitong finals. And I think that's one of the areas na naka-affect doon sa kanyang scoring, because beauty of face, as I said earlier, is a criteria doon sa judging nila. Okay? Nasa na ba tayo? Hajiyev says, parang if height is a factor, parang ang regressive lang when the female pageants are becoming more inclusive. There are a lot of other candidates na medyo on the shorter side who made top 16. So, I don't think height is a major issue. Although, perhaps, kapag, ang problema kasi kapag matangkad ka, when it comes to looking at your proportions, mas mukha kang model proportion. And I think kung shorter ka, like I am on the shorter side at 5'7", tawag ito, magmumukha kang hindi ganun katangkaran on stage. And in fact, I'm kinda surprised na isa sa mga na top 5, halos mas matangkad lang siya akin ng konti. So, ayun. Sabi ni John Carey, Poland is very baguettes looking. I agree. Mukha siyang totoy actually. And he has a face that is very delicate looking, that I think would be much better served in a modeling contest rather than on a competition like Mr. International. John Kerry, they already have a relationship with Nuestra Belleza España. So there is no need for them to reach out with RNB Spain. So Cres Olmo, who is the national director for Miss Universe Spain, Miss World Spain, Miss International Spain, and Mr. World Spain, is the one who is the one handling Mr. International na franchise for Spain under the Philippine-based organization. And his organization is Nuestra Belleza España. Okay. Nasa na ba tayo? Jam Amihan says, reminds me of Miss You 2016-2017 aside sa Philippines ginanap, like an Irish version si Spain. Nostalgic din kasi medyo matangkad din ang first runner-up sa winner. Well-deserved si Spain and France to win. RM Mackenzie says, upon monitoring the social media, kumakalat na sa mga news agencies and social media pages ang victory ni Jose Calle sa Mr. International 2023. That's very good. May acknowledgement ng existence ng org. Saan ba tayo? June Ren and Tessa Hon says, during the formal wear segment, I think it was only Malaysia who hugged a kid. He was already my winner that moment. He's genuine and compassionate, a good trait a Mr. International should have. Going Popcorn says, I think the judgment is overall performance and attitude as well from day 1 to last night. Kaya nga mayroong mga ibang pasok. Katuwa naman Nepal made it to the semis, secretly rooting for him. Okay, so let's now talk about the judging criteria. Kasi ang nangyari pala was that in every segment of the competition, there is a criteria that the judges are going to look at in terms of scoring the potential winner. During the swimsuit competition, I think the segment, the judging criteria was beauty of the face, the physique and proportion. So this is the reason why probably why mga 5'10" pataas yung mga nakapasok ng top 5. Okay? Stage presence. Tapos may isa pa na I forgot to jot down na hindi ko na maalala ngayon. Okay? So there are I think 3 or 4 na mga judging criteria per segment. On the formal wear naman, I think kasama pa din yung beauty of face, yung runway skill, yung poise and confidence, tapos yung stage presence. I think those are things that the organization were looking for doon sa kanilang mga kanilang mga possible na winner. So it means that everything that they are looking for in a possible winner, nalista na nila. And if these are the judging criteria on the physical na aspect, then we might have to take a look on sino yung mga nag-perform on the closer interviews, sino yung mga nakapag-perform in terms of yung what do you call this, in terms of attitude na evaluation kung meron man. Because I'm not sure if you are if you remember way back months ago, I discussed yung judging criteria of the Miss International competition, and I mentioned there that part of the evaluation of the judges is this sheet, evaluation sheet coming from the chaperones of the Miss International candidates, wherein they are going to check on the attitude of the girls, how punctual they are, how well behaved they are. And in that section, the girls are not evaluated. The girls are jotted down in terms of sino yung parating late, sino yung parating hindi maganda yung pinapakitang attitude. And these evaluation sheets are given to the judges to look at, so that they are able to form informed decisions on who they are going to pick as Miss International. And I think that is a very good na practice of the Miss International organization. I am not sure if they did that for Mr. International, but I do hope na they put that into practice as well, because from what I've heard, um, some of the pageant media who were there from day one ng October 8 up until coronation night mentioned to me that among the guys, in terms of personality, in terms of yung being amiable, candidates like Argentina, candidates like Jamaica, of course, Philippines, Spain, and several others are the ones who they praise in terms of being easy to talk with, being easy to communicate with, and essentially being very easy to work with throughout the competition. Probably the organization also took notice of that they are going to look for someone who is professional, someone who is very, in terms of professionalism, very high on the list. That is probably why we got the top 5 that we saw. The mere fact that despite Argentina not being able to speak English, he made sure that he has an app on his phone that he uses in order to communicate, is the reason why he made top 5. So I think that is that's one of the reasons why we got the top 5 that we got, because these are the guys that probably both judges and the organization felt like these are the ones who will be able to represent the organization in a positive manner. And I think there's a lot of you that is commenting na dapat si Austin hindi nakapasok sa top 5, dapat hanggang 4th runner up lang siya, or who are questioning Malaysia should not have made top 5, or Jamaica for that matter. If you have an understanding of what the organization is looking for in terms of professionalism, you probably would think that this is the reason why they made top 5, because I'm not sure if napapansin nyo, and whenever I post about Mr. Malaysia or Mr. Singapore, they are very actively reposting sa kanilang mga stories yung mga post namin on them. And dito mo makitaan that these are really good, well-behaved mga gentlemen. The mere fact that after the competition, when I sought out Malaysia among the winners and have a photo with him, the mere fact na nagpasalamat siya for the content that we post on him on a regular basis. Silang dalawa actually ni Singapore nagpasalamat for always being part of our mga posts on social media. Tells you that these people are very grateful for whatever advantages that you provide for them, because they are very well behaved, they are very well educated, well bred. So this tells you the kind of candidates that the Philippine-based organization have, because the mere fact that they are very grateful for any post on them, dahil hindi naman sila galing sa pageant crazy ng mga countries, and they appreciate that, and they are despite not winning the main title, you can see it I can see it in their faces that they are very grateful for how far they've come through into the competition. And what really impressed me was when I did said that maybe this is a way that the universe is telling me to pursue more. Tells me that Okay, these guys are fine. These guys are not just, physically good specimen of a hunk or gentleman, but also, they have a good heart and a good head. And I think, for us to judge them based on what we only see physically, is kinda unfair as well. Dahil, iba pa din kasi yung nakakasalamuha mo sila. The mere fact that, some of the candidates na kahit na regular ako nagpo-post sa kanila, wala kang makitang ni hi ni ho na pasalamat. And, on top of my head, the ones that really stood out for me when it comes to, to postings, ganyan, yung very grateful, Spain, Cuba, Costa Rica, Argentina, Malaysia, Singapore, sila yung madalas na halos everyday, nagte-thank you. Tells us that there is a reason why, most of these guys made it into the top 5, top 8 of the competition. So, I think, the organization also, took into consideration yung, what do you call this, yung attitude ng mga candidates in the selection of the winners. Okay, saan na ba tayo? Okay. Sandali lang. I think I overscrolled yung mga comments. Sabi ni Going Popcorn, I think the judgment is overall performance and attitude as well from day 1 to last night. Kaya mayroong mga ibang pasok. Katuwa naman na Palme dito to semis, secretly rooting for him. Sabi ni R.M. Case, Sir, do you think there will be another pageant next year? Kasi hindi sinabi ni na Sean at Emma na see you next year. Hehehe. There will be. I'm hoping that there will be. I'm hoping na sana next year masettle down na yung legal na awayan with regards to the ownership of the pageant para malaman na natin kung nakanina ba talaga yung ownership ng Mr. International na organization. Sabi ni Kiravan Lopez, sorry Sir Jason, but I think automatic na magiging behave at polite talaga si Austin since host country ng ang Pinas. Hindi naman siguro siya magpakita ng di maganda. But I still don't see Austin as a pageant winner. Sorry talaga. Not crab mentality, pero he's not as strong for me since day 1. I think, Caravan, everybody is entitled to their own opinion. However, the judges have spoken and they are looking for someone that I think may i-contribute sa sa organization. And so far, from what I've seen Austin do with the Mr. International Philippines title is yung pagiging active niya sa mga charity works ng Mr. International, Mr. International Philippines kinds of endears him dun sa mga fans. Si Austin kasi hindi rin madamot na magkipagpa-picture sa mga fans. And I think that is the reason why there are a lot of fans who are really, very warm with him. Who really feel that he could have possibly even won. Because in terms of attitude, hindi nakikitaan ng sakit ng ulo ng organization si Austin. So I think that is one of the reasons why Austin, is a favorite. And you can see naman because of his stature being the tallest candidate, he has the advantage of the physical goods. Because as I mentioned earlier, in terms of presentation, he has, that pat down. In terms of runway skill and poise and confidence, he really delivered naman on the finals night. Okay? Jam Amihan says, looking forward for Mr. International to guest Cannes Film Festival or attend at least one high-end fashion weeks in Europe or join a charity event like Smile Train or Red Cross International. Nasa na ba tayo? RM McKay says, isa lang ang concern ko about Jose Calle. He only has 8K followers on IG. Argentina and Costa Rica has 55K and 77K respectively, which the org would greatly benefit in promoting the pageant. With regards naman to that, you can always see naman that the followers will follow. The numbers will follow. And I think this is also the reason why, Miss Universe Arboni Gabriel is not very concerned about the number of followers that she has. She is probably one of the least followed na mga Miss Universe winner in the past several years, but it does not hindrance her from performing her duties and responsibilities as a winner. So far, if you compare the reigns of, let's say, Harnaz and Zozy and what do you call this, and even Catriona, Arboni is even the better traveled Miss Universe winner as compared to those other girls. And we all know that Catriona has a, what do you call this, how many millions na followers. But in terms of yung travels ni Catriona for Miss Universe organization, halos wala. Halos kokonti. And again, it's not about the number of travels or the number of followers, but rather, how dedicated you are for the platform that the Miss Universe or the Mr. International provides for you. And I think that is, the key takeaway for Catriona, for Harnaz, for what do you call this, for Arboni, is that it's not about the number. It's not about the numbers. Okay. Nasaan na ba to? Caravan continues na sabi, yes, I know naman na we all have our own bets, opinions, and mas may say ang judges, pero seems like may pabor lang siya since nasa Pinas yung pageant. Siguro, slightly agree with that. Iba pa din kasi yung may draw ka ng crowd. But if it was, so let's go na doon sa placement ng top 5. Because I think the top 16, wala akong maipinta sa top 16. I would have probably put in Singapore there because he's a personal favorite dun sa top 16. But I don't know. I think everyone who made top 16 earned their spot. In terms naman dun sa top 5, if it were up to me, based on if it was just my opinion, I would have probably made, I agree with Spain as a winner. I would have probably made first runner-up si Jamaica. Second runner-up, I'd probably put, what do you call this? Si Argentina. I would put Mr. Philippines as fourth runner-up and Malaysia as fifth runner-up still. Because of yung mishap ni Mr. Malaysia doon sa Q&A niya during the top 8. However, even if it was Argentina or it was Malaysia who won Mr. International, I think that they are still a great pick for the organization. Yes, we might have some disagreements doon sa placements nung mga runners up, nung mga ranking ng mga runners up, but ultimately I think in terms of the quality of the people who made the top 5, wala kang maipintas. There's no critique with regards to how well the organization kind of selected their winners. I think at the end of the day, there is always, point of contentions because we are not going to be 100% na satisfied with any results. But ultimately, I think the organization selected the right winner. And I think that is what is important. I remember when fans would criticize, Miss Earth when it was held here in the Philippines in 2013, na ang daming nagsasabi na, plastic naman yung mga chairs, ganyan-ganyan, ang tsaka ng venue, madilim, mahangin masyado yung Versailles Palace. But ultimately, when you look at the results of the winner, the results of the pageant with the winners like Alice Henry for Miss Earth, Miss Fire was Katharina Choi, representing Korea, who later on went to Miss World, representing Brazil, and and also made semis there. And then also Punika Kulsunrat of Thailand, who made Miss Earth Water. Lahat tayo, we forgot that we were not very happy with the venue. We were not happy with the production, because ultimately what we remember were the winners, because they were very deserving of their titles. They were very what do you call this? They were very strong in selecting the rightful winners for the pageant. And I think that is the reason why, despite all of the criticisms that we have, the one thing that we remember about Miss Earth 2013 was that they selected a very strong group of winners. So in terms of optics, I think mas importante pa din that you crown a winner that fans and the general public agree with, and it's a matter of it's a matter of optics din kasi na whoever are the ones that perform during the finals, sila yung bibigyan mo ng score, bibigyan mo ng titulo, because as I said earlier, part of the judging is stage presence, runway skill, poise and confidence, overall impression. Then naiintindihan ko, being there at the venue, that the 5 guys who made top 5, who ended up as winners, were the ones who really, who really performed that night. You would see that these are the guys that they have stage presence. These are the guys that when it comes to to overall impression, they would leave an impression to you. And I think the organization, despite accusations and people saying na niluto yung placement ni Mr. Philippines, but guys, I was there. I saw yung stage presence. I felt yung stage presence nung top 2 na nanalo. I've seen how Austin performed. I didn't want him to make top 5 because I know that there will be people who will be complaining about his placement because of optics. This is also the reason why in my list of my favorites, I did not even put Austin as part of my top 5 or my top 7, dahil alam ko yung optics, alam ko yung reklamo ng mga Filipino fans that it does not look good. And this is and this is the reason why I did not make him among my 4 winners, 4 favorite winners, dahil I saw this criticism coming. But kung ako ang tatanungin ninyo, I really felt that he is a top 5 material from the very get-go, from the very beginning that he won Mr. International Philippines. The reason why I didn't keep on promoting him on my page is because I know yung sasabihin ng mga tao na the only reason that you're promoting him is because he's Filipino. And nakaka-insulto naman on my end dahil I have been very observant of pageants in the past several years. But me telling you now that he was deserving of his top 5 placement, of his win as first runner-up, kahit na anong sabihin ko, if you are not convinced, I cannot convince you. Because all I know is that I've seen him perform during the finals. Nakita ko kung ano yung criteria of judges, so it made sense to me. Okay? So, I think we can agree to disagree with his placement, but we can all agree that the winners that they selected, the winners that Mr. International, the Philippines owned na organization, are winners that are deserving of their titles, that are deserving of making top 5. So siguro magpatayan tayo ng kuro-kuro when it comes to the placements, but ultimately those 5 guys, I saw them perform during the finals in Baguio. They were the ones that I think kahit na gustuhin ko man na ipasok si Cuba, si Costa Rica in the top 5, the judges have a reason why they selected them. And nakita ko yun doon sa pinagbasehan nila, which is the judging criteria that they had. Okay? Nasa na pa tayo? Okay, ang dami ng comments. Okay, so let's read the comments before we do our final thoughts on the topic. Pageant fan NYC, sabi niya, if Philippines version will have to change their title, what do you suggest, Mr. Earth? Since there's no male pageant version yet among the big 4, bakit kinakailangan nila mag-change ng title if they have the legal documents? Diba? Okay, nasa na ba tayo? John Kerry says, Austin is not a strong speaker, but he really has the looks. I think he's even one of the most handsome PH representative we sent to MI. Sabi ni Jon Snow, in any competition, it's all best foot forward. Bihira ang Miss Egypt na kaber. Question ko, what's next for Mr. Spain? Magstay rin siya ba dito? Ano magiging ganap niya na magiging impactful? That I am not yet sure. Medyo naubusan ako ng boses. Okay, Jon Snow, that I'm not sure. Because Lucanand, when he came here, he stayed for months and months. I'm not sure if that's the same arrangement with Mr. Spain, because he also has some duties and responsibilities with Nuestra Belleza España. So maybe half-half ang mangyayari. I'm not yet sure kung he will extend his stay here in the Philippines, but it is most likely na magkakaroon siya ng mga events here in the Philippines. R.M. McKay says, sir, your assessment on Lucanan's reign as Mr. International, he really is a very humble na winner. Hindi siya maere. He's not the kind of winner who only comes in for public appearances, because throughout his reign, looking at his socials, the way that the Mr. International promotes his activities, he did some fashion shoots, he did public appearances, judged mga local pageants here in the Philippines. He also did a number of charity work. So I think in terms of yung reign niya, I think it was a fruitful reign for Lucanand, and the mere fact that he was given blanket authority to talk about the current situation in Manipur, India, tells us that this is a guy who is not only good physically, but also has a good heart in him. Nasaan na ba yun? John Kerry, I am not sure. Because I don't think that if it had an effect doon sa chances ni Argentina, ni Angel, then he wouldn't even make top 5, diba? If that's true. Romnick Parinya says, I was rooting for Mr. United Kingdom. Yes, I kind of agree because he looked good on stage as well. Nasa ba tayo? Sabi ni R.M. McKay, sabi niya, my advice to the Philippine-based organization, stick to your core values. Look at Miss Earth this year. We are expecting a glossy production in Vietnam and rival Miss U. Bilog ang mundo. Tama, I agree. EJ Belge, sabi niya, agree with your ranking, especially the Philippines 4th place. Okay, it's great. Jam Amihan, sabi niya, pero come to think of it, according din kasi kay Tita L, mabait talaga si Austin, even his MIPH days. And ito rin ang isa sa mga reason aside from his physique kung bakit siya naging Mr. PH this time. Again, attitude counts talaga, and professionalism counts. If Austin was able to exhibit that in the very short time na he was named Mr. International Philippines up until the MI na competition in Baguio, it shows you yung professionalism nung nanalo. Pinapakita niya talaga na Austin, wala kang problema sa kanya na mahirap siyang katrabaho because he really is, very approachable. Hindi siya maere, hindi siya mayabang. Unlike some candidates that even on stage, nakikitaan ko na yabang lang ang meron ito, kaya siya nag-nick top 8 or top 16. With Austin, wala kang ma-feel na ganon. Okay? Nasa na ba to? June Ren and Tesohon, if it was Austin who was sent to the MI Thailand na pageant, what do you think were his chances of winning the title? Wala. Kasi ikaw ba naman, kaaway mo yung national award niya, ipa-placement yung papadala niya sa'yo, 'di ba? Parang I don't think na bibigyan siya ng placement at all. Okay? EJ Bell, sabi niya, Austin would look better if he built up more muscles and he could join Mr. Supra or other male pageants. He's too lean and soft looking. EJ Belge, maganda ka. Okay. Babarilin ko yung comment mo na yan kasi una sa lahat, if you are at a 6'4" na height, which is very good for modeling, a lot of designers would not want a very bulky na model. This is the reason why yung physique ni, let's say, Mr. Singapore or Mr. USA would not work in the modeling industry, especially on runway, dahil me, speaking as a designer who has a fashion line before, and I showed during the Philippine Fashion Week around the years of 2010, ganyan, ang hirap damitan ng maskulado. I would rather have a lean model, much like Austin, because una sa lahat, hindi weird yung pattern na gagawin ko dahil kinakailangan mong make adjustments on kung gaano ka wide yung hita, gaano ka broad yung shoulders, because it throws off the pattern. Kaya yung mga maskuladong, mga NFL na mga tawag nito, mga players, they cannot just go at like Gucci or Armani and just pick off one of those suits off the rack. Kinakailangan always made to measure siya. Pasadya. Kinakailangan 8 diretso ang labas niya. Dahil if you're going to buy something off the rack, it will not fit them well because you have to make allowances doon sa bulto-bulto nilang mga muscle. So, Austin, being a model, works yung ganong klaseng physique for him because he is a Philippine Philippine Professional PMAP, Philippine Models Association, Professional Models Association of the Philippines na member. So, if you are a PMAP model, you kind of have to make sure that your physique stays within the modelesque na proportion. Dahil kung masyado kang bulky, you would not look good on photography, you would not look good on ramp, magmumukha kang naka-muscle suit if you're going to bulk up too much. Okay? 40, tas sabi niya, saan nag-extend na kayo sa Baguio? Malamig pa ba? Malamig pa ang Baguio at up until nung umalis kami. Di na nga kami nag-on ng aircon sa van, nakabukas lang yung mga bintana namin. In as much as I would want to, I need to prepare for classes on Monday. So, kinakailangan kong bumaba. Ano ba naman, tita? Papadala pa ba sila ng tawag nito, ng candidate? Meron na nga silang di ba? Meron na nga silang pa-contest para doon sa Thai na version. So, definitely naman. Okay? Sabi ni Going Popcorn, yung mga judges kasi sisihin sa placement, identity reveal na. I think, panoorin nyo na lang yung live stream ng Mr. International para malaman sila. Because I didn't pay attention doon sa mga judges nung kino-call out sila because I was busy with taking mga tao nito, taking coverage shots. Okay, I think it's about time that we check back on our poll. So let's check. Oops, nawala. Nasaan na yun? Okay, okay, ba't nawala yung poll? Okay, the poll says 44% of you says that they love the results of the Mr. International na competition. About 40% says na 50-50. Tapos 14% yung not satisfied at all. Okay, so let's put this, live stream, in our final thoughts na. I think that when it comes to optics, the quality of winners in the Philippine-based organization is really a strong one. Because right now, if you noticed, social media, people are abuzz with Mr. Spain as a winner. And that is because a lot of people, we felt that he is a deserving winner. And I think ultimately, any pageant, they should always crown someone who is deserving, someone who really worked hard for it, someone who can bring something into the organization and lift up the overall image of the Mr. International brand. And that is what the Philippine-based organization did. I think they are they are a organization that's still young because of the members of the group are still growing on the growing up na process. I think that ultimately, if in case that we're going to look at the future of this organization, I think they are on the right trajectory. Yes, I agree with you guys. Their staging probably is not the perfection that we all seem to require these days. That is also the reason why hindi ako nagpo-post ng basta-basta on socials, because alam ko very judgy tayo when it comes to visuals, when it comes to the glam portraits ng mga tao ito, the glam side of pageantry. But I think those things we can learn, grow, and adapt. But what is difficult to do is being being fair to your candidates. Hindi lahat ng mga pageants, especially male pageants, would do that. There will always be a point of contention. There will always be some organizations that you would hear mga backstage fights, mga issues of aregluhan, issues of favoritism, even na nga itong sa Mr. International, people still feel na Austin was given a favoritism because of he is based here in the Philippines. But that was not the case, at least from my perspective, because I saw how each of the top 5 really fought hard for their top 5 placements. Because if they didn't work hard for it, then Costa Rica would have made it into the top 5. Cuba would have made it into the top 5. So I think that the 5 guys who made the list really gave their all during the finals. And if you're not convinced, then go back, review the tapes, review the finals, look at it from a fresh na perspective rather than a clouded and biased na eyes. Okay, I think ultimately, if you look at the winners this year, they can bring something new, something fresh, something something different to the pageant industry. And I think that this is about the right time where we start looking at male pageants to have a, what do you call this, to be more aligned with the community causes, with the with the advocacies that we all require from the female counterpart. And what I really like about Mr. International ngayon is that yung value nila, the core values that they want to pursue for the organization, is they're living it currently. That is why on their socials you would see, a lot of their winners still being participative with charity activities. And I think that is one of the reasons why nire-respeto ko yung gustong i-achieve ng organization na to. Gusto nilang iangat yung they want to raise, the level of professionalism in the industry. They want to raise, the the bar high, for male pageant winners. And I do hope that they would succeed. They would succeed in that aspect of their goals. Kasi we need more organizations that would want to raise up, the image of the male pageant industry. At hindi lang yung porke ang skimpy na ng mga bikinis at ang glossy-glossy lang ng stage, impress na kaagad tayo. We kinda need to be more exacting when it comes to male pageants, that it's not only about the gloss, but rather what can they do after they win. What are they doing after their win? Kasi if the only thing that they do is public appearances where everything is glossy and all, then what's their reason for being? What makes them relevant in this industry where bawat taon may mga sumusulpot na mga international na male pageants. So I think ultimately, the Mr. International organization is following the trajectory of the Miss Earth pageant, where they are focusing and leaning on social causes in order for them to forward and move the conversation higher in terms of male pageants. Okay? Thank you very much for everyone who participated in our live stream discussion this evening. It's already almost an hour and 40 minutes dun sa usapan natin ngayon. Marami tayong napag-usapan, maraming mabibigat tayong mga pinag-usapan ngayong gabi, and I do hope that we all support Jose Calle in his reign as Mr. International. So we're hoping that he would make the best out of his reign, and I do hope na supportahan din natin yung organization. Supportahan din natin siya sa kanyang reign. Okay? Thank you everyone for joining in our live stream. I do hope na some of you would still, leave a like doon sa ating live stream para mas dumami pa yung mga makapag-participate sa ating mga future na mga discussions. Okay? Thank you very much for a great evening, everyone, and I hope to see you again soon in our next episode. Bye, everyone. See you and take care.